Imagine walking through a storm, yet somehow never getting wet. Imagine being surrounded by darkness, yet always finding a light guiding your steps. There is a force, a protection, invisible yet unmistakable, that shields some people from harm. And it's not luck, it's divine protection. Body, some signs reveal when a person is under this sacred protection first, they carry a calmness that doesn't fade, even when others try to bring chaos into their lives. Their serenity acts as a shield. Second, they possess an intuitive sense that steers them away from danger or deceit. It's as if the universe itself whispers warnings, unseen to others. Third, they naturally avoid toxic relationships. They do not have to fight to stay safe. The path of protection clears for them. Fourth, they demonstrate resilience. Life tests them, yet they rise stronger each time, untouched in spirit, if not in circumstance. Fifth, their presence inspires positivity in others, and negativity cannot easily linger around them. It's a reflection of the protection they carry. Finally, their faith, quiet yet unwavering, acts as the ultimate shield. Every step guided by trust and hope builds walls no evil can penetrate. Closing's call to reflection. Being protected is not about avoiding life's trials. It's about walking through them with trust, awareness, and strength. So the next time you feel calm in chaos, guided when lost, and shielded from harm, remember it may not be chance. It may very well be the silent, powerful protection of the divine surrounding you. Absolutely. Here's an expanded version of divine protection through faith. In 8 paragraphs, keeping it open, ended as requested. Faith as a shield. Faith is more than belief. It is a living connection to the divine that becomes a shield against the challenges of life. When a person holds firm in their trust and reliance on God, they develop a sense of security that transcends the material world. This spiritual shield does not merely protect from physical harm, but also guards the heart from negativity, fear, and the destructive influence of others. Confidence in the unseen. A person who is protected through faith trusts in what cannot be seen. They are certain that God is aware of every situation, every threat, and every person with ill intentions. This trust allows them to navigate life with confidence, knowing that divine wisdom surpasses human understanding. Even when circumstances appear threatening, the faithful heart finds peace in the unseen support that surrounds it. Strength to resist temptations. Faith equips an individual with strength to resist temptations that may lead to harm or moral compromise. When guided by divine principles, decisions are filtered through an inner compass that prioritizes righteousness over momentary gain. This moral clarity acts as a form of protection, preventing them from becoming entangled in situations where evil could take root. Awareness of spiritual boundaries. Being spiritually protected means having an innate awareness of boundaries that safeguard one from harmful influences. Faith cultivates discernment, helping a person recognize when relationships, environments, or behaviors might be dangerous. This awareness is subtle, often manifesting as an inner warning or hesitation that directs them away from potential harm. The calm in the storm. A key sign of divine protection is the ability to remain calm during turmoil. Faith nurtures patience and trust, which allows the heart to remain unshaken when others panic or when chaos surrounds them. This serenity is not passive. It is a dynamic form of protection that stabilizes the mind, enabling clear judgment and preventing rash decisions that could lead to harm. Attraction to goodness. Faith also draws positive energy and people toward the believer. Those guided by the divine often find themselves surrounded by helpers, mentors, and companions who uplift rather than harm. This natural alignment with goodness reinforces the protection faith provides, creating a network of support that fortifies against negativity and malicious intent. Guidance through challenges. Faith ensures that guidance is available even in difficult situations. Through prayer, reflection, and trust in divine wisdom, a person receives direction that helps them avoid pitfalls. This guidance is a protective force, often subtle, nudging them away from danger or toward choices that safeguard both their spiritual and worldly well-being. Resilience beyond the physical, ultimately, protection through faith extends beyond the physical and visible. It is an inner resilience that cannot be broken by external harm or opposition. Even when trials occur, the faithful heart remains fortified, carrying a sense of security that is anchored in divine support, providing strength to endure what might overwhelm others. Inner peace as a sign of protection, calmness in the face of adversity is one of the clearest indicators of divine protection. When someone maintains composure amidst chaos, it is not merely a learned skill, but a reflection of inner peace rooted in trust. This serenity acts as a buffer against the emotional storms that life inevitably brings, preventing fear and anxiety from taking hold. Responding instead of reacting, those protected by divine guidance do not react impulsively to negativity or attacks. Instead, they respond with thoughtfulness and clarity. This measured approach prevents escalation and protects both their emotional state and relationships. In this way, calmness becomes an active form of defense, safeguarding them from unnecessary conflict. Clarity amid confusion. When trouble arises, calmness allows the mind to remain clear, even when situations seem overwhelming. A protected individual can see solutions and paths that others might miss. This clarity is a spiritual advantage, almost like a compass, pointing them away from danger and towards safe outcomes. Emotional immunity to negativity. Calmness creates a form of emotional immunity. Criticism, envy, or malice from others loses its power to disturb the heart. The person remains centered, recognizing that external negativity cannot penetrate the protection provided by faith and trust in the divine. Patience in trials. Adversity often tests patience, and maintaining calmness is a way of demonstrating resilience. Patience rooted in calm allows for thoughtful decision making and ensures that temporary difficulties do not lead to permanent harm. It is through this patience that one experiences protection even in challenging circumstances. Influence on others. A calm person radiates stability, which influences those around them positively. Their composure can de-escalate tense situations and prevent chaos from spreading. In this sense, calmness not only protects the individual, but also creates a protective aura that shields others from turmoil. Trust in a greater plan. Calmness stems from the belief that every difficulty has purpose and every challenge is temporary. This trust diminishes fear and anxiety, reinforcing the protective shield of faith. Understanding that life's tests are part of a greater plan provides emotional stability and strengthens resilience. Enduring without being overwhelmed. Ultimately, calmness enables a person to endure hardship without being overwhelmed. It is a silent strength, a protective force that keeps them grounded while navigating adversity. This composure reflects an inner sanctuary where the soul remains untouched. Even as the world around may be chaotic, the gift of inner awareness, intuitive discernment, is one of the most subtle yet powerful signs of divine protection. It is the quiet voice within that warns, guides, and redirects a person before harm reaches them. This inner awareness does not come from logic or experience alone. It is a spiritual gift that grows stronger through faith and reflection. It allows one to sense when something or someone is not aligned with goodness. Recognizing energy and intentions, people protected by the divine often develop a heightened sensitivity to the energy and intentions of others. Without needing concrete evidence, they can sense when someone's words or actions carry deceit or malice. This recognition shields them from being easily manipulated as they learn to trust their instincts and distance themselves before the harm unfolds. Quiet warnings of the heart discernment often manifest as a gentle unease in the heart, a feeling that something is not right. This is not fear, but divine intuition. It nudges the person to pause, observe, and think twice before committing to a decision or relationship. Those who are spiritually connected learn to recognize this warning as protection rather than coincidence. Guidance in silence. There are moments when life presents choices that logic cannot fully explain. In those times, intuitive discernment acts as an inner compass. It points towards safety and truth without the need for loud signs or visible reasons. This silent form of guidance is how the divine protects the heart from confusion and regret. The power to withdraw gracefully. Discernment gives one the strength to step away from people or situations that do not serve their peace, even when there is no clear reason. It teaches the value of quiet withdrawal over confrontation. This ability to walk away with grace is itself a shield, keeping one safe from unnecessary pain or conflict. Protection from emotional manipulation. Those with strong spiritual intuition are less likely to fall prey to emotional traps or false promises. They can see beyond charm and words, recognizing the true character of others. This protection guards not just their emotions, but also their dignity and self-worth, preserving the purity of their heart. Strengthened by experience and faith, while intuition is a divine gift, it also deepens through experience and trust in God's plan. Every moment of clarity, every warning heeded, strengthens the connection between the heart and the divine. Over time, discernment becomes second nature, a constant companion that keeps one aligned with truth and light, a shield for the soul. Ultimately, intuitive discernment is not merely about avoiding harm, it is about remaining spiritually awake. It keeps the soul safe from deceit, helping one recognize who and what belongs in their life. This quiet awareness, born of faith and reflection, acts as an invisible armor that guides every step toward goodness and safety. The wisdom of letting go. Detachment from harmful relationships is not coldness or indifference. It is wisdom born from divine protection. When a person is guided by faith, they begin to recognize which connections nurture their soul and which ones drain their peace. This awareness allows them to let go of what no longer serves their spiritual well-being, creating space for healthier bonds to grow. Recognizing emotional patterns. Often, harmful relationships disguise themselves as love, loyalty, or obligation. But divine protection opens one's eyes to repeated patterns of hurt, manipulation, or emotional imbalance. The protected heart learns to see beyond surface appearances and to value peace over attachment. It realizes that not everyone meant to enter our lives is meant to stay. Quiet withdrawal instead of conflict. When guided by divine wisdom, a person does not need loud arguments or dramatic exits to end a toxic relationship. Their withdrawal is quiet, graceful, and firm. It is as if the divine gently moves them away from danger without chaos. This peaceful detachment reflects the strength of one who is spiritually guarded from unnecessary pain. Self-worth as a form of protection. Faith teaches self-worth. When someone understands that they are honored and valued by their Creator, they no longer tolerate relationships that diminish them. This recognition becomes a divine barrier, preventing others from exploiting their kindness or crossing their boundaries. It is not pride, but dignity rooted in spiritual awareness. The healing power of distance detachment also brings healing. Once harmful connections are released, the heart begins to recover its strength and clarity. The silence that follows separation is not emptiness, it is restoration. This period of healing is itself a divine gift, preparing the soul to receive relationships aligned with sincerity and peace. Trusting divine replacement, letting go can be painful, especially when emotions are deeply involved. Yet those under divine protection trust that what is lost will be replaced by something better. This faith gives them the courage to walk away, knowing that God does not remove anything without purpose. Detachment, therefore, is not an end. It is a beginning guided by trust. Boundaries as acts of faith, setting boundaries, is another form of spiritual protection. It is an expression of faith that says, I will not allow what is harmful to touch what is sacred within me. These boundaries are not built out of fear, but out of reverence for peace, purity, and emotional balance. They preserve the heart's ability to love without losing itself. Freedom of the soul ultimately. Detachment from harmful relationships brings freedom, the kind that only comes when one chooses peace over chaos, faith over fear, and truth over illusion. It allows the soul to breathe, unburdened by the weight of toxic connections, and to continue walking the path of divine guidance with renewed strength and clarity. Strength born from faith, resilience, is not the absence of pain, but the ability to rise above it. Those protected by the divine draw their strength from faith, not circumstance. When life throws challenges their way, they stand firm, not because they are unshaken by hardship, but because they trust that every trial carries wisdom and purpose. Their faith becomes the foundation upon which their endurance is built. Rising after every fall, divine protection does not prevent one from falling. It ensures that each fall leads to growth. A person under this protection learns to view setbacks not as defeats, but as lessons designed to refine their character. Every time they rise after being tested, they grow more grounded, more compassionate, and more aligned with the strength that comes from above. The calm core within chaos resilient individuals possess an inner calm that holds steady even when everything around them seems to collapse. This calm is not denial. It is the peace that comes from knowing that storms eventually pass. Their strength is quiet, unwavering, and deeply rooted in the assurance that the divine vine never abandons those who seek refuge in Him, finding light in darkness when darkness surrounds them. The spiritually protected soul does not despair. They learn to look for light, even if it's only a faint glimmer. This perspective transforms difficulty into opportunity and pain into purpose. Their resilience lies in their ability to see beyond the immediate moment, to believe that what breaks them today may build them tomorrow. Endurance without bitterness, true strength, is not only enduring hardship, but doing so without allowing it to harden the heart. Those guided by divine protection emerge from trials with softness still intact. They forgive, they release, and they move forward without carrying resentment. This purity of heart becomes their armor, protecting them from turning bitterness into a barrier against love and growth. Renewal through patience, resilience often grows in silence through moments of waiting and patience. A protected person understands that not every answer comes immediately and not every wound heals overnight. Their patience is a form of strength that keeps them steady while life unfolds at its divine pace. In that waiting, they are not idle. They are being strengthened from within. Unbreakable by external forces, external circumstances may test them, but they do not define them. Their sense of worth and purpose comes from a higher source, not from worldly success or approval. This detachment from external validation shields them from despair when things go wrong, for they know that their strength lies in being connected to something eternal and unshakable. Grace in perseverance, resilience, and strength shine brightest when carried with grace. Those protected by divine love endure hardship without losing their dignity or compassion. They keep walking even when the road is steep, with hearts anchored in faith and minds clear with purpose. Their perseverance is not forced. It is a natural reflection of the divine support that sustains them through every trial. The radiance of a protected heart, those protected by the divine, often carry a light within them that naturally touches the lives of others. Their calmness, kindness, and sincerity radiate without effort. It is not through grand gestures or loud words, but through the quiet consistency of their goodness that they inspire positivity. Their presence brings comfort, as if those around them can sense the peace that divine protection bestows. The power of example: a spiritually grounded person does not need to preach their faith, they live it. Their resilience, patience, and compassion become silent lessons for those who witness them. People feel encouraged by their ability to remain gentle in hardship, grateful in uncertainty, and forgiving in disappointment. This living example awakens hope in others, showing that strength and softness can coexist. A source of calm in chaos: when negativity surrounds them, those protected by the divine become anchors of calmness. Their steadiness helps others find balance when fear or anger takes over. Just by remaining composed and kind, they shift the emotional atmosphere of their environment. Their presence reminds others that peace is not dependent on circumstances, but on connection with something greater. Uplifting through words and actions, inspiring positivity often happens in the smallest acts: an encouraging word, a gentle smile, or a patient silence. Those guided by divine protection intuitively know how to speak when words can heal and remain silent when silence can comfort. Their empathy becomes a bridge through which others feel valued and understood, softening hearts that may have forgotten tenderness. Transforming pain into purpose, many who uplift others have walked through pain themselves. Their positivity is not naivete, it is forged in experience. Having endured difficulty, they use their healing to help others find their own. They remind people that pain can be a teacher, not a punishment, and that wounds can transform into wisdom when embraced with faith and trust. Attracting light, repelling darkness, the aura of goodness that surrounds such a person acts as both a magnet and a shield. It draws kind-hearted souls who seek peace, while naturally repelling those with harmful intentions. This is divine protection in action. Their purity and optimism create an environment where evil intentions struggle to take root. Their positivity becomes a quiet form of defense, spreading hope through authenticity. True inspiration comes from authenticity. Those protected by the divine do not pretend to be perfect. They simply strive to remain truthful, humble, and kind. Their honesty allows others to feel safe in their presence. People are drawn to them not because they are flawless, but because they are real, living proofs that faith can turn struggle into serenity. The ripple effect of light: every act of kindness and moment of patience sends out ripples far beyond what can be seen. The positivity shared by one protected soul can brighten countless hearts. Their influence is quiet yet lasting, leaving traces of hope wherever they go. Through their light, others are reminded that goodness still exists and that divine protection can manifest not only as safety, but as the ability to heal and uplift others. The purpose within hardship: every challenge carries a message, though it may not be clear in the moment. Those protected by the divine understand that difficulties are not random punishments, but purposeful tests meant to guide and strengthen the soul. Instead of asking, "Why me?" they begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" This shift in perspective transforms suffering into direction and confusion into clarity. Divine guidance in unseen ways. Guidance often comes quietly, not through loud miracles, but through subtle signs. An unexpected delay, a change of plan, or a sudden realization. Those under divine protection learn to recognize these moments as whispers of wisdom. They come to understand that what seems like a setback might actually be redirection towards something better and safer. The role of faith in uncertainty. In times of uncertainty, faith becomes the compass that points toward peace. When logic fails and paths seem unclear, trust in divine wisdom provides direction. The protected heart does not rely solely on sight. It moves with confidence in the unseen hand that guides every step. This faith-based navigation prevents despair and invites patience. Lessons hidden in delays. Often, guidance is disguised as waiting. Delays and pauses can feel frustrating, yet they are sometimes the divine's way of saying, "Not yet." A protected person learns that timing matters, and what they desire may not be denied, only delayed for a reason beyond their understanding. In this waiting, they grow in patience, humility, and strength, preparing them for what lies ahead. Learning through reflection, guidance through challenges also comes through reflection. Difficult experiences push a person to look inward and question their habits, choices, and attachments. In this introspection, they uncover patterns and lessons that might have remained hidden in comfort. The ability to learn from pain instead of being broken by it is one of the clearest signs of divine protection. The presence of inner peace. Even in the midst of trials, those guided by divine wisdom often feel a quiet peace that others may not understand. This inner calm does not mean the absence of struggle. It means trust in a greater plan. Such peace protects them from panic, allowing them to move through challenges with dignity, grace, and strength. Help through the right people. Sometimes divine guidance comes in the form of people, a comforting friend, a kind stranger, or a wise mentor. Those protected by the divine are often placed in the presence of souls who help them see the way forward. These encounters are not coincidences. They are carefully arranged moments of support and mercy, guiding the person back to stability and hope. Transformation through trust. Every challenge faced with faith becomes a step closer to wisdom and growth. Those who trust divine guidance are transformed by their trials rather than defeated by them. They emerge not bitter but enlightened, realizing that even their hardest moments were filled with protection and purpose, gently shaping them into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate versions of themselves. Strength of the inner world, resilience beyond the physical, is a strength that resides deep within the soul. It is not measured by how much a person can endure outwardly, but by how firmly their heart remains connected to faith when everything else is shaken. Physical strength can fade, but spiritual endurance continues to sustain a person long after the body or circumstances grow weak. Protection of the heart and mind. Divine protection shields, not only from external harm, but also from inner collapse. When faced with trials, a person protected by faith finds that their mind remains clear and their heart refuses to surrender to despair. This inner fortitude acts as a sanctuary where negativity cannot take root and hopelessness cannot thrive. Rising above emotional wounds, pain can scar the body and burden the emotions, yet divine resilience allows one to rise beyond both. This strength teaches that healing is not about forgetting pain, but transforming it into wisdom. Those protected by the divine learn to carry their experiences with grace, allowing suffering to refine rather than define them. Endurance through the soul's connection. A resilient soul does not rely on worldly stability for peace. Its strength is drawn from an unbroken connection to the Creator. Even when life becomes uncertain or isolating, that connection remains the anchor. It allows one to stand firm against the tides of fear, knowing that divine presence is constant even when all else changes. Freedom from external validation. Resilience beyond the physical frees a person from needing approval or recognition from others. They no longer depend on external validation to feel whole. Their worth is anchored in divine love, not in the opinions or actions of people. This independence protects them from emotional harm and keeps their peace intact regardless of how others behave. The quiet power of acceptance. Acceptance is one of the most profound forms of resilience. It does not mean surrendering to injustice or giving up on dreams. It means trusting that even in difficulty, there is wisdom unfolding. A protected soul learns to say, this too has meaning, and in doing so, finds peace where others find only pain. Acceptance becomes a doorway to serenity, transforming weakness into worship. When a person is too weak to fight, too tired to continue, yet still chooses to turn to God in surrender, that is resilience beyond the physical. Their tears become prayers, their silence becomes remembrance, and their endurance becomes worship. This spiritual strength surpasses any worldly power because it is rooted in humility and faith, the unbreakable spirit. Ultimately, resilience beyond the physical is the state of a soul that cannot be broken, no matter how many times it is tested. Even if life strips away possessions, people, or health, their spirit remains unshaken. Their peace does not depend on comfort. It flows from a deep awareness of divine presence. It is this unbreakable spirit that defines true protection, the kind that no evil can destroy and no hardship can defeat.